My name is Dr. Kate Issa. I am the Chief Executive Officer of the Katchey Group. A little bit about Katchey. Katchey was incorporated about 36 years ago, 36 on the 1st of April this year. And we started out as a company that equipped laboratories, different kinds of laboratories. One of our claims to fame was re-equipping all of NAFDAC laboratories across the country. You know, under Professor Dora Akunile, we took moribund labs and we transformed them into world-class labs that could get WHO pre-qualification, accreditation, ISO accreditation. And Professor Dora would tell the world that Katchey was a critical success factor in her successful war against fake drugs. We have several other success stories across the country. But with time, we came to be seen as the leader in quality in the country, and with time we started to identify gaps. With Africa continental trade, we realized that without an internationally accredited independent analytical lab, Nigerian manufacturers would not be able to take advantage of the big Africa trade block that was being opened up, because to export out into that block, you have to be producing quality, verifiable quality products, you know. And there was no internationally accredited independent analytical lab in Nigeria. And so we went ahead, working with our manufacturing partners, Thermo Fisher Scientific and Merck, to set up what to them is a demo lab, but to us is an independent analytical lab that is internationally accredited, the first of its kind south of the Sahara Desert all the way to the Indian Ocean. So yes, that is what Katchey Laboratories represent. We continue to identify gaps and work on filling those gaps. We started out with an analytical lab that is accredited to ISO 17025 by ANAB. And then we found that pharmaceutical companies needed internationally accredited lab to test, you know, and to also, you know, like to be a reference, a testing lab for them. Instead of sending their samples abroad, they can send them here. So we extended our scope to include pharmaceuticals, and I have to tell you, the leading pharmaceutical manufacturers in Nigeria send their samples to us to analyze. We found that the oil companies were needing to test, you know, samples, so we extended to oil and gas. And then, you know, because we are in the space equipping other labs, we are able to identify opportunities. And just recently, we just completed an audit by ANAB for accreditation of our genomic and forensic lab, our life sciences lab, around which we had this conference today. Going for the future of Katchey, we're looking to set, we're working right now, we are almost completing the plans to set up our pathology lab. We're also at the final stages of completing our bioequivalent lab, bioequivalent bioavailability lab. So the things that are needed in the space, in the lab space in Nigeria, we identify them, we have the will to put together, mobilize the resources that are needed to set up the lab, train the Nigerians, our Nigerians to be, as analysts, to work in the lab. I want to say that everything we do in Katchey is Nigeria focused, Africa focused. We don't have expatriates. Everybody that works here is Nigerian. The lab we're standing in right now was designed, spec'd by our engineers, our Katchey engineers. They installed the benching, they spec'd out and did the layout for the lab. They installed the equipment, they trained the operators, and they maintain the equipment. All the analysts here are Nigerians. They're Nigerian trained Nigerians. At a point, we tried to bring in foreigners because we're looking to operate at global, international level. They came, and within days they ran away. We've had about 3. One came from India and ran within 4 days. Another one came from Ghana, and in 3 weeks he left. and some other person came from Ghana. I don't think he lasted up to 3 weeks and he left. The work ethics in Nigeria is different. We're very rigorous, we're hardworking, we are, there's no slack here. So I think they get intimidated with the environment and they leave. So we focused on developing our people, bringing trainers, even from the Ghana, from wherever we could find trainers to train our Nigerians. I have to give it to the head of this lab. She has worked very hard. She has grown, she has impressed me, blessing Okoli, beyond bounds. She came from a small pharmaceutical company and she has midwifed and carried us through series of accreditation that we're doing very well. And people come here and they're amazed. And you look at this lab, it's 3 years old. We run a lot of samples, but it looks like we just installed it. It's fresh, it's clean, and our people know what they're doing. So yes, we are, in the science space, making science work for Nigerians, making science relevant, and just talking about where we're going with what we're doing. We have identified the gap in research to find solutions for the needs of our people. Let's take cancer, for instance. We know that cancer research, drug discovery, solutions have gotten to personalized level, precision medicine. And we find that most of the time, I would say all of the time, the times that I know about, the sample pool based upon which the drugs or the solutions or the markers are developed for, let's say, cancer, any kind of cancer, prostate, breast, or whatever, that sample pool does not have significant representation of black people. There was one sample pool that I saw, and in that, the black representation was 5%. 95 was, maybe 90 or maybe 80 was Caucasian, and then you had Chinese or Asians. So any drug, any marker, any product that is designed with that sample pool as the target, interest group will not work effectively for the black population. So that got me thinking that it was a rude wake-up call. It was at an IoTech conference several years ago, and that got me thinking that these things are not working for us. And if we do nothing, we're all going to sit here and diseases will come and waste us, because Onyibo people have moved on. They're doing their own thing. They're focusing on themselves. We need to focus on ourselves. And can I say something? I know Africans, Nigerians, black people who are very intelligent, very hardworking, very resourceful. All we need is to galvanize ourselves, mobilize ourselves, stop waiting for other people like government or foreigners to come do things for us. Begin to do these things for ourselves so that we can we take our lives in our own hands and begin to innovate, research and find solutions, drugs, and products that will be suitable, tailored towards, our genes, our gene type, our gene pool, that will be effective for us. One thing that I like to point out when we are talking about science, development, innovation, invention is that education, the right kind of education is very important, is key. In a country where in 2025 our children are being trained with analog curriculum, we cannot expect too much to come from them, because the world has been on digital for a long time. And I have to say, through this medium, that, by the way, did I shout out to Media Room Hub? You guys are doing a great job. Through the Media Room Hub, and I know a lot of people watch you, that it is not okay for our children to be trained with analog in a digital world. That it is important that we update our science curriculum so that we can train up students, graduates who have the right tools, who, the currency of science is digital, the currency of the world is actually digital, who are trained with the proper orientation of evidence-based investigative mind, which is a scientist needs to have, to effectively research and find and develop products and solutions that are uniquely needed for our people. This is where research and development has gotten to precision, personalized, and if we do nothing, we're in big trouble. So we need to, everywhere I have a mic, I tell them, we need to modernize our science curriculum. We start from there. It costs 1/3, that's a 3.333%, to equip a digital STEM based science lab than it costs to equip an analog. The analog is 3 times more expensive than the digital, so it's cheaper. There's no reason for us to continue to waste the money on analog, and most of the time the equipment are obsolete. The knowledge is obsolete. Our children, that is also why you have science graduates come out and they want to be fashion designers or makeup artists, because they never engage science in school. There is no interest in it. If they could go to a science program and graduate at top of their class, if they engage science, they will be researchers, they will be product developers, they will be innovators. And so it's time for us to begin to do that. I am a person, me, Kate Ikechi Issa, I'm a person who believes that if God gives you breath and gives you the human capacity, you need to put it to use, to work for the good of humanity. You need to steward for Him, because you will answer for what you did not use. You don't need to, you shouldn't be waiting for anybody giving excuses, or government didn't do, or donors stopped donating. Do your own where you can. Look at what we did today. We decided to have a seminar, bring together researchers in the academia, in research institutions like NIMA, in the universities, the academia, oncologists, clinicians. We brought them all together to talk about this thing, this need for us to collaborate, cooperate to find solutions for the things that are uniquely ours, the challenges, the diseases, the problems that we have as a people, as Black people, as Nigerians. And whatever works for Nigeria will work for Africa, can be adapted to work for Africa. And if you put all the Black people together, it's a huge economy. If we can break down the silos and begin to engage and talk and collaborate, we can go far. So self-help, everybody, wherever you are, do what you can. Bring your A game out. As we move, we also reach to our politicians. We talk truth to power. We're not sycophants. We don't molly them and tell them they're doing okay when we don't think they are. We don't disrespect them either. We commend them when we see them do well. And we also reach out to them to tell them how they can help for our nation to be better. So together, we don't wait until they do whatever it is. We do what we can in the place that we are, while we encourage them to come with us. A lot of people who came here from government, they're ready to partner with us. They've come to see what we're doing. They're very impressed. This lab, I've been to labs around the world. Most of them are not as good as what we have here in Nigeria. And people come here and they're amazed that such a lab exists here. That's what a mind can do when you're not limited by your environment. We have solar generating plants here with generate our power. Between the generator, the solar, the electricity grid, we are covered. This lab operates 24/7. Power can never go out. We can't afford it. We drill our own water, we treat it. We have water purification system in the lab as well. So when we see those gaps, we do it because we are driven to find solutions. We are not sitting down and worrying about excuses and what is not there. We are using what we see to move forward. And as you move, the other things actually align, So yes, we are changing things. We are making things happen in the country. And I'm so excited, especially after today, that researchers, academia, clinicians, the industry came together. Now the group in our conference, Empowering Innovation in Life Sciences, the group decided to form a cohort, an association, to continue to exchange ideas, to continue to collaborate, not to forget today, to move forward and continue to do things for the good of Nigeria, for the good of Africa, for the good of the black race. So that is encouraging, that is exciting, that is what what is possible when you allow your mind to be stretched, and you allow yourself to dream, and you're not limited by the things that limit other people. You refuse to be limited or to be stopped. And so what am I saying to everybody? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Let's not quit. Let's not give up. Let us do what we can. Each individual, bring in your A game, bring in your best, and moving forward. Don't allow anything to stop you or to limit you. And as God enables us, we're more than able to accomplish our goals. So help us, God.